As kids, my older brother David and I had a typical sibling rivalry filled with petty fights and competition. Who got the biggest scoop of mashed potatoes or the front seat in the car caused such outrage. But as we grew up and life got more complex, David became one of my fiercest supporters and closest confidants. He modeling strength, loyalty and resilience through all my ups and downs. Only 2 years my senior, David and I occupied the same social spheres growing up. I looked up to him, emulating his style and taste in music as all younger sisters do. But David never acted too cool for his dorky tag-along sister. He let me hang with his friends, invited me to parties, and even slow danced with me at middle school formals so I wouldn't feel left out. His quiet care for me shone through small gestures. David led the way into adolescence with grace, studying diligently and avoiding the typical teen troubles. I followed his footsteps to maintain our parents' trust. We kept each other grounded through those rocky years. While we had different personalities and friends, we still shared midnight snacks and stayed up late whispering and giggling in the dark like old times. Of course, shifts emerged as David discovered his independence. We bickered over who hogged the bathroom and the car. He insisted my loud music and phone calls annoyed him when he studied. We went days without interacting beyond grunting in the kitchen. But that's adolescence. I realize now he was just spreading his wings. Under the surface, our bond persisted unchanged. David left for college when I was just 16, leaving me reeling and lost without my lifelong companion. But he welcomed me on campus visits. I cried hugging him tight after months apart. His reassuring smile reminded me our relationship could flex and endure through life's changes. We just needed patience as our roles evolved with age. When David met his future wife sophomore year of college, I admit pangs of jealousy flared up. His new best friend made me feel abandoned again. But really I just missed our simple closeness from childhood, before the complexities of relationships and career ambitions diverged our paths. In time, his fiancée and I became friends too as we all adjusted. As the protective older brother, David worried about me navigating relationships and parties once I started college. He insisted I call whenever I needed a ride home at night. Having a trusted family member I could turn to nearby, even if just via cell phone, provided security during those fun but chaotic years. Just knowing he had my back offered peace of mind. When David and his high school sweetheart married after graduation, I overcame adolescent self-absorption to appreciate the joy he had found. At their wedding, watching him tear up reading his vows filled me with hope, seeing how profoundly one person could love another. My stamp of approval officially certified his wife into the family. Readjusting traditions to incorporate her made us closer. David and I learned to nurture our evolving bond as busy adults through small rituals. We have weekly calls to catch each other up on work drama and funny stories about our kids. We make time for coffee dates during visits home despite hectic holiday scheduling. We send surprise care packages just because. Shared jokes and memories sustain us despite geographic distance. Now each holding leadership roles in our careers, we draw inspiration from one another. David provides constructive feedback to help me improve at managing projects and teams. I encourage him to take risks, be vulnerable, and pursue meaningful work aligned with his values. Together we keep striving to grow wiser and stay humble. Having a trusted advisor who intimately understands your history is invaluable. Of course, welcoming new in-laws ushered in painful moments too as family dynamics realigned. Watching my own parents gush over my newborn niece stung, I admit. Relinquishing my long-held spot as the baby of the family to David's kids forced me to confront my lingering childhood desires to be nurtured and indulged. His evolving priorities as a husband and dad challenged me. But staying anchored in unconditional love allowed space for my own milestones in time. Tough years inevitably brought us closer. When David's father-in-law passed away suddenly, I dropped everything to be by his side at the funeral. After cruel workplace bullying, I found solace in my big brother's righteous outrage and affirmations. In our family's darkest moments, we cling to one another. Each hardship serves as an opportunity to say, "I'm here for you no matter what." Life's valleys tighten our bond. Of course, some sibling jealousy and bickering will always endure. I still roll my eyes at his corny jokes. He teases me for watching trashy reality shows. I complain about his stubborn refusal to adopt technology and social media. David says my idealism lacks pragmatism. We push each other's buttons and argue over politics as most siblings do. But reassuringly, our shared history and trust remain rock solid beneath it all. Despite surface spats, when it really matters, David has never failed to be there for me. My loyal brother rushed me to the hospital after an allergic reaction left me struggling to breathe. When my risky business venture failed, David stopped lecturing and helped me rebuild with an emergency loan. His shoulder provided comfort when romantic relationships crumbled. In frightening times, I feel blessed knowing my protector has my back. While we take vastly different approaches to life, David and I share core values. Our team mentality persists despite diverging paths. We inherited diligence and empathy from our parents. A dry, sarcastic sense of humor binds us too, along with fierce loyalty to family and friends. At our core, the same moral compass still guides us that we cultivated together as kids. Our roots keep us aligned through intermittent conflict. I treasure the security of unconditional love only siblings can provide. They know you inside and out, every triumph, embarrassment, and flaw. Your bond withstands time and conflict. While friends come and go, the non-judgmental refuge of a sibling's affection endures. Life constantly reinvents itself, but our love remains the inextricable thread tying my past to future. Everything changes, yet David's care for me never wavers. Despite limited time together now with families and distance, just the occasional heartfelt conversation sustains our connection through long gaps apart. My solar brother's radiant humor and wisdom fill me up until we meet again. David is my childhood in human form. His soul knows mine like no one else ever will. I strive to gift my own children the gift of siblingship that shaped me. Though we now relate more as peers than childhood playmates, our intuitive closeness persists. My trust in David's counsel and loyalty through turmoil will never fade. When we're goofy and unguarded together, I still glimpse flashes of the kids we used to be. No matter how old we grow, he will always be my beloved big brother. That bond transcends place and time. I know he's just a phone call away whenever I need my best friend.